Chapter 15. Jesus takes me to hell. In the following weeks, a strong sense of bewilderment stirred within me. I was about to lose my mind. Who did I really belong to? As long as I continued to be pulled by the devil and wooed by the light, the tug of war would not let up. I knew I had to get rid of everything in my apartment that kept me tied to the religion and its demons. As I paced around my apartment, going from room to room, I confronted the cauldron that was in the closet and the demonic symbols painted on the walls. I stared down into the cauldron, knowing what was in it: human bones and dried blood from the many animal sacrifices. My eyes darted across the room to the corner, where the statue of an Indian chief stood. We locked eyes, and for a moment it seemed as if his ceramic eyes came to life, burning with an unholy fire and hatred for me. A mounting tension welled within me from the many years I was faithful to the spirits. The smell of betrayal hung heavy in the air. But I was overcome by the strange power of the commitment I had made years ago. As long as I was in this state of mind, suspended between laughing and crying, the devil had me where he wanted, confused. Nothing could clear my head now. Not the burning taste of liquor or advice from plastered friends at the bars, and nothing could fill my empty heart. Not the dim nightclubs that pounded with loud music or the sexy women who threw themselves at me. Nothing worked anymore. It was because I still felt a love and a commitment to the religion. I had lived in that world for 25 years. It was like a marriage, and now I sensed it was coming to an end. I was torn between two worlds. That night before going to bed, I felt spiritually drained. I had no strength in my body and no sense of direction. There was nothing left in me, to the point that I thought about ending it all. As I went into my bedroom and switched off the lights, I sat on my bed in the dark and began to talk to God out loud. "Leave me alone," I said with a deep, heavy sigh. I was fine the way I was, and then you showed up. My life was perfect until you came around. Why'd you have to come along and mess everything up? I don't want to serve you, I made up my mind. I don't believe in you. Unless you can prove to me you are more powerful than the devil I serve, I'm staying in this religion. I'm not going to put my trust in a name. It's just another name to me. I lay on the bed, about to fall asleep. As my eyes got heavy, my last words came out in a whisper: "If you are more powerful than witchcraft, then show me or leave me alone." Train ride to the abyss. That night God caused me to fall into a deep sleep, and I dreamed. I found myself in a packed subway train, and I knew this train was heading straight to hell. The train was traveling so fast, at a speed I could not imagine. The people's faces looked drained and confused, and I felt as though I could not breathe. I found a spot to grab onto, and there before me was a young woman dressed in a stylish business suit looking into my eyes. I got a good look at the woman. She had a knockout smile that highlighted a beautiful face. Everything about her was striking. She moved her lips and said something to me. "I'm going to hell. And I'm dragging you with me," she said in a devilish language. Fear ripped through me as the young woman reached for my arm. She gripped me with the strength of a man, and when she did I pulled away so hard I jolted myself from sleep. Eyes darting at every corner of my bedroom, I was looking to hide from the attractive pursuer with the demonic voice. But a moment later, I found myself tumbling back into another surreal setting. This time I stood on a high platform, looking onto the subway tracks below. Beside me was a devil-worshipping cousin of mine. I asked him, "How do I get down from here?" "If you want to get to the platform, you'll have to slide down that rope." He pointed to a long rope dangling down into the tracks. "Or you can enter the tunnel until you exit onto the street." The dangling rope looked dangerous, but I wanted to find my way home. So instead I opted for the darkness of the long, foreboding tunnel. The tunnel was narrower than I thought, more pitch black than I imagined. I knew I was not in a normal tunnel but one of the tunnels of hell. How long would I have to be here, strangled in my fear? Walking deeper into the tunnel, I felt uneasy and the fear grew stronger, like no fear I ever felt on earth. Heat emanated from the tunnel, as if I were walking into the mouth of a dragon. With every step I took, my feet sank into a soft, unfamiliar surface. Suddenly, the devil himself stood in front of me. He was over 12 feet tall, with gruesome-looking features and deep red eyes. I noticed that his wings were stained and dirty. As he spoke, heat came out of his mouth. "I have given you everything, wealth, women, and power," he said in a deep, echoing voice. "People fear you because of me. I was like a father to you. And now you want to throw it all away? Don't you know you can never get rid of me?" I looked into his churning eyes, and what I saw made me want to run in the direction I had come, but my feet felt cemented to the ground and I couldn't move. I couldn't scream to save my life. "If you won't serve me," he continued, "then I'll have to destroy you." He tried to grab me, and I backed up. "You fool," he said, laughing. "You can't get away. You belong to me." As he went to grab me once again, something appeared in my right hand, and I looked at it with amazement. It was a 3-foot cross. As soon as he reached for me, I put the cross on him, and he lost all strength and power and fell to his knees. In shock at what had taken place, I continued running through the tunnel as fast as I could. When I reached the end of the tunnel, the same fear gripped me again, only this time much stronger and much worse. The devil appeared for the second time, angrier than before, speaking to me in demonic tongues and telling me how he was going to destroy me. "I have no plans of leaving you," I shouted, my whole body trembling. He pointed his long finger at me. "You liar," he said in a screaming voice. No, I pleaded, "I'm just confused. Bear with me. I'll get it back together." "No," he said once again, his voice echoing down the tunnel. "I'm going to keep you here in hell with me so your body on earth won't wake up. You'll be pronounced dead." When I saw I had no way out, I pulled down my t-shirt and showed him the scars on my chest. "I will use these to destroy you," I said. He laughed out loud. "You fool. I gave you those scars." The scars were physical evidence of the contract I had made on the night I sold my soul. That infuriated him even more. He attempted to grab me again, this time with a greater fury. As he reached for me, the cross appeared in my right hand. For a second time, standing between him and me. I pushed the cross on him, and his strength snapped out of his body and he fell to his knees. That's when I woke up from my dream. I sat bolt upright in bed, my eyes wide open, my body shaking in a cold sweat. I looked around the room, trying to get my thoughts together. Suddenly I realized it was a dream that God had used to show me He was bigger and more powerful than anything I had served for 25 years in witchcraft. "Oh, my God," I said, my voice shaking. "You are real and you do love me. Despite everything I said against you, how I mocked you and laughed at your church, how I ridiculed Christians, trying to break their faith, and recruited some to the dark side. In spite of all this, you still love me. Now, Jesus, I give my life to you. I will serve you instead of the demons, and you will be Lord over my life. You are the true God." I took out a piece of paper, marking the day in 1999, and wrote out a vow to the Lord that for all the days of my life, I would serve Him and be fully surrendered to His will. Jesus Christ had delivered me from witchcraft, never again to return.